What's up, dude?
How you been?
Good, dude. Serious long time no talk.
Yeah, it's been like what, 3 weeks or so?
3 weeks. We took a little break.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough questions. Took time off, spent time with our families, all the good stuff.
Yeah. A couple people have asked and they're like, what happened? I'm like, well, we had no questions, man.
So what happens, dude. I should have sent out an email being like, break. I'll probably do that tonight too. Just send an email out.
Because this one probably won't go out till next Tuesday, right?
Exactly.
Which is April already, April
Yeah.
6th. Dang.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's been a long time. So we're excited to get back into it because we have enough questions to pack out 2 episodes again.
Yep.
So the real question is, have you had enough self-control to not drink the beer that Homeboy sent us?
No. Well,
right,
I mean, oh, that's my next one.
Okay, so my next one was gonna be the Tank 7
So,
Saison.
so I'm gonna hit it hard first.
Yeah, buddy, double IPA. I was actually very impressed with myself. I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna drink these. We're gonna take 2 weeks off. I'm not gonna drink them. I'm gonna save them. So, Pale Ale, Boulevard. That's a good beer, man. That's a good beer.
Nice.
Dude, so what you been up to, man?
A lot. I went snowboarding on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, cool.
And because they closed, I think, on the 21st, so I wanted to get one ride in.
Right.
And then just working a little bit on the KX250, working on the Chevelle, and so forth. So just inching along with that.
I see you pumping out videos, man. It's like a machine.
Yeah, they're short.
Okay. I was actually talking to my wife the other day. I was like, I think it'd be really cool to have a 3D printer.
Yeah.
I think it'd just be cool, just to like, do cool things like you did with the nozzle you made.
Yeah.
Or if I wanted to make a bracket and be like, it'd be really cool if this was in aluminum. And then, it's very helpful for a lot of people. It's just be cool to have. I think the intimidating thing is like, I don't know where to start. I don't know. It's probably going to take me a bit to learn the program, I imagine. But I think that's intimidating about it.
Yeah.
For you, it's probably like, oh, this is elementary from what
I'm used to. Okay, so I've been using CAD or 3D CAD for like 20 years. Okay, so that part is easy for me, obviously. But I was new to 3D printing. Well, we have 3D printers at work, but I don't run them. I don't load the files. I don't run the machines. I just request a file, and we got a tool room over there, and they whip it out. But anyway, so that buying, I mean, dude, they start at $200.
Yeah.
The one I got is like $300. Okay.
Yeah.
There are plenty of YouTube videos and Facebook groups around this brand, and there's tons of support. So I watched a YouTube video on how to assemble it. I watched a YouTube video on how to take your CAD file and convert, load it into the slicing program. Because you have to orient the part, and then you have to slice. You just press a button and it slices each layer.
Okay.
And then you just save it to a card, walk over to the machine, pop it in, and hit go. But man, considering all of that, it's pretty simple. It's not bad.
I've been thinking about dabbling with it. So,
well,
what kind of machine or what brand machine do you have?
It's Ender, ENDER Pro. Okay. No, Ender 3 V2 version 2.
Got it.
And I think it's probably, I bought it for around 300 when it came out. Now it's probably like 220, 250 or whatever, or 270. It's still cheap, dude, all things considered,
Yeah. The question that I have is probably pretty basic. The material that it prints, is it like a block of plastic that it melts down and does? I don't know how it works.
No, it looks like weed whacker string.
Oh, okay.
On a spool, and it's called filament.
Got it.
It is like 3.2 millimeters in diameter.
Okay.
And it comes on a 1 kilogram spool or whatever, and it just feeds in
fantastic
like string.
Yeah.
And it just
makes total sense.
Yeah. You can get it in all different colors, and dude, it's crazy.
Dude, I'm thinking about it, man. I might take that leap. I think it'd just be cool. I think it'd just be cool to make stuff.
Yeah. And well, here's the thing. You can go to sites like Thing Universe, and it's a free database of files.
Okay.
So, dude, I printed little figurines of Baby Yoda.
Oh, cool.
And the Mandalorian. I mean, my kids print all kinds of shit. And they were printing, you know, those fingerboards for the skateboards?
Yeah, tech decks.
Yeah. So they wanted ramps and rails. So I printed like a whole skate park.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
So they made a cardboard box, and they made all these ramps and stuff, and they were using their fingerboards. Too cool. So, dude, all kinds of stuff, man.
The material, do they sell the plastic in different types of plastic?
So, yeah, the most common and most forgiving is PLA.
Okay.
I don't know what that stands for, but it's like I think it's plant-based.
Okay.
I don't know. You can get PETG, ABS. You can even get wood filament. Like, dude, there's so much. I just use PLA.
Yeah. And that's pretty, it holds up well against, like, if you were to, I don't know, fill something around chemicals, it would be fine.
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like, harsh chemicals, probably not. I mean, some plastics melt.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe like a flange spacer for a carburetor. Heat and some gas flowing through there.
You mean on the engine side?
Yeah.
Yeah, no way.
Okay. But would they make something like that that's like suitable, you think?
To print?
Yeah.
No. And another reason is it's porous.
Got it.
So you'd get a vacuum leak. So
really, it's just from a design standpoint, it's like this is the base, and then you would build off of this. Like you would get something made.
Yeah. What would be great about it is like, hey, you 3D print it, and you can try it out, test it up, mock it up, and then go, hey, I want to make this out of whatever material. And that's what 3D printing is all about. I mean, that's what I did with the blast gun.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the box?
I did.
Iterations. Dude, I printed like 100 nozzles.
Right.
To get you really quick to what you want. And then you could go cut metal.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so cool. I think I'm going to do it, man. I just think it'd be cool to have just a little tool to learn on.
Yeah. And I mean, and then using CAD, dude, is awesome. You can like, dude, I had to make like a 3 or 6 degree cut on one of the pipes for the turbo piping.
Yeah.
And I couldn't visualize it, and how was I going to do it? So what I did is I modeled a pipe with a 6 degree cut.
Yep.
And then I unfolded it, and then I printed that on paper, and then I wrapped that paper around the pipe, and I just traced the cut.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, dude, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, man. You know? That's cool. That's really cool. Thanks for that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. And then hell, man, I can help you, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Cool, dude.
There's free CAD software too. So,
okay.
I don't know how to use the free stuff because it's a different software, but it's all the same stuff, kind of, right? So I can help you with that.
Really cool. So the one you have, are you paying for that?
No. So, it's Pro Engineer.
Okay.
I got a copy from a friend. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could give it to you, but that's one that like is kind of difficult to use.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't start with that.
It'd be like sending someone X video record editor on Mac and then be like, hey, here's Final Cut. Use Final Cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start with Movies Maker.
Right, exactly.
Movie Maker. Whatever.
Work up from there. I remember those days.
Anyway, enough about me, man. What about you? What's going on in your world?
Man, it's just been going through some life stuff, just trying to spend some time with my wife more, cultivate that relationship. And so just been taking Tuesdays off really just to kind of spend time with her. I did just finish up a 8-part video series on V4 shim adjustments. So pulling the cams out, putting it in time, pretty basic stuff in my world, but it's very intimidating when you have to pull the cams out of something, especially two on a V twin or V4. So that was eight-part videos, 20 minutes each. Huge. It's like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. But I welcomed.
Wow.
We did the rear cylinder, and what's interesting is that bike's got like 2,800 miles. The valve inspection's not due until 16,000. But I was like, for the cause, let's shoot some content. I need some content shot for the members. That's where I spend most of my time. Not all my time actually. So I did it, and sure enough, dude, 2 of those clearances were so tight. I mean, so tight. It's very interesting. Really? And I've ran that bike before, so it's not like it's just like, you know, something weird going on, like the too much tension on the chain or something weird. But they were out, so we adjusted the shims on it, pulled the cams, put them back in, and so I'm moving on from that now. So I've just been dabbling with that, editing a lot of videos for that, making sure the members are all happy and giving them a bunch of content. Now I can kind of move on, and now I'm officially going to be working on YouTube stuff. So
that's that adjustment videos in your membership only.
Yep.
Okay.
Membership only. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So just been doing that a lot of that. Spending time with, like I said, spent time with my wife. Planted some stuff here. It was like 70 degrees today. It's been awesome here. Nice. The shop is full force, dude. It's like Armageddon of bikes.
At work, everyone's waking up and going, wow, I need my stuff today.
We had like 180-degree day, and it was just like kaboom, bomb was dropped. Everyone wants their bikes. They all got like, yeah, I should have came here earlier. It's like, yeah, no shit, dude.
Yeah,
because you want, you know, all this stuff done. And it was right on the cusp of finishing the trike. So I finished the trike, and we had some difficulties with one of the technicians. His mom had passed in this time period, so it was just like, in a season where we should have 3 to 4 full-time techs, we now have 2 techs. And that, in that crucial period of time, that's 3 weeks of when spring's like here, which it's here now, we should be rolling and swinging, but we just weren't able to. So we're just very, very behind. It's the hardest I've worked in a long time. We'll say that.
And you know what? It's tax season too.
Yeah.
So people are getting refunds, and people are getting their third
they are
stimulus checks, so people want to blow some of that money, man.
Yeah, man. And then they're like, why is it going to take longer than a week? We're like, dude, there's 20 people ahead of you, man.
Yeah.
20 people.
Are you guys facing any supply issues?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The majority, I'm sorry, but the amount of parts that are on back order that should not be on back order, like brake pads and air filters, is a sign.
Yeah.
We can't get it's very, very difficult to get new units in. If we have a 4-wheeler come in, it was ordered 6 months ago and it's already been paid for. And us being a smaller, like there are dealerships, Honda shops, whatever, usually like the single brand franchises that you're either like a big one where you have multiple brands, or you're a small one, but you're still considered a category 4, category 5 dealership where you got watercraft, or not really from Honda anymore, but lots of inventory. When you're a smaller dealership, either you're going to be sales heavy or service heavy. And we are always service heavy. We don't do a lot of sales. So because Honda sees that we don't do a lot of sales, we don't sell a lot of bikes, they'll restrict what we can order. Really? Because these other dealerships, that's just the name of the game when it comes to working for a bigger man, you know what I mean? And a company, but like whereas one dealership, they can request for 5 to 6 4-wheeler units at once, we can request 2 and we'll get maybe 1. So that aspect before COVID was fine. We would get 2, sit. We'd order two more, and they would sit for a little bit. Now we start selling them all. Then all of a sudden, we just sold everything, and now we just can't get anything back in. So that's been difficult. But like I said, we are very service heavy. We are very well known for our service. So that is what keeps the engine rolling. Yeah. But yeah, very difficult to get stuff in. I can't even get my boots resold, dude. I got some Red Wings that I've had for 3 years. I have to get those things resold. They're like, I'm like walking crooked because of how much I've scuffed my feet. And I went to get them resold. And they were like, it's a 10-week wait because the soles are back ordered. I'm like, I can't go 10 weeks without my work shoes.
Damn. How much does it cost to resole them?
About $100.
Okay. And a brand new pair's
about $380.
Oh, wow.
Damn, I keep them for about 7 years.
Wow.
I love my Red Wings, man.
Oh, that's what I hear. I've never had a pair.
This is my second pair. The first pair I had for 6 years until I kept sending them in to get at first it was $60 to get them resold, but then I don't know what happened, but it went to $100. But I kept getting resold, getting resold, and all of a sudden the bottom just split off of like where it's glued or tied in, and they couldn't fix them, so I had to buy a new pair. But that took 6 years. So I definitely spend more money on reselling them than what they're worth, but I don't know. I think it kind of evens out because I can go to Walmart and get a set of Wolverines or, get some Arrows or whatever other lower brand pricing there is. But I would likely rebuy a new pair within a couple months.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Red Wings is that there's somewhere where you can take them and they'll clean them and they'll resole them. Where I think that the other brands may not offer that. I don't know. I've just been a sold out Red Wing fan for a while. So
no, yeah, sure. No, that's awesome.
Yeah. So let's do this Broken Moto show.
Yeah, man.
Okay. How's your beer?
It's really good.
Which one is it?
The Calling IPA.
Oh, the double IPA.
The double.
Dude, as Riney as it gets.
Yeah. It's not that. I mean, it's good. It's not that Riney. I was expecting a little more, to be honest. But was there a triple in the box? I thought there was a double, triple, and a quad, or just one double. I think
there was just one quad.
Okay, the quad was good, man.
Yeah,
that was
good beer, man.
Oh man, and it's smooth too.
Yes, it is.
Oh man,
that's good. Dangerously good.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 33. Right?
Two.
It's been a while. Welcome to episode 32. Thank you guys for being patient with us as we took 2 weeks off to get these recorded. Again, we need your guys' questions to push forward with these things. And when we don't have them, we'll take a little break. So if you don't hear from us, it's likely just because we're just waiting to fill the docket to support the amount of time that we put into this. So welcome. If you are new, my name is Cody from MotorcycleMD. This is my buddy Matt from How To Motorcycle Repair. Two guys who like to talk about motorcycles, small engines, life. And you're welcome to join us by sending us an email. What is that email, Matt?
So the email is askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. And yes, after these 2 episodes, our inbox will be empty. So we'll need your questions. So you guys know the rules. Put in the year, make, and model, mileage, your location, and be very detailed on the issue. And videos and pictures are a huge plus.
Yeah, for sure. If you send us one of those, Matt will pull it up so we all can enjoy it. It's pretty awesome. So dive in. But let's get started. It's been a while. Gotta see if I can't brush off the dust of my brain and activate it for these people with you, Matt. So do you want to take question 1?
Yeah. So the first question is from the Fitz. The Fitz is a regular donator to our beer fund. So he's awesome. So he's bumped to the front of the list here.
Yes, he is.
Actually just bumped by 1 or 2 questions, which we'll cover in this episode anyway. But anyway, all right, here it goes. First off, I want to say thank you for all that you both do for the motorcycle community. I really appreciate it. And I know many others do also. And I'm a huge fan of the Broken Moto Show. I have an 81 Yamaha XS400 special with 252 original miles.
Nice.
Man. And I'm having issues with the carbs. I know they've been taken out, removed at least once before that I know of. However, I don't know what exactly was previously done. The main issue with the bike is that it was leaking, pissing gas out of the right side air intake box. It was backing up from the carbs into the airbox while the bike was idling as well as under throttle. When I initially picked up the bike, I took it for a test ride, and the first half of the test ride was fine, and I didn't notice any issues. Suddenly, after riding a mile or two, the engine started sputtering and choking under acceleration, and that's when I noticed it started leaking gas out the right side of the bike where the air intake box is. I limped it back to the cellar and then rolled it onto the trailer to bring it home. In the meantime, I received the carb rebuild kit to fix it. Okay, you know, he included like a 9-minute video with this. So instead of reading all of this, I think what we can do is just play the video.
Okay.
And pause it and then talk about it.
Cool.
Because it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know. So let me do that.
Cool, man.
Hey guys, this is Matt. I got carburetors torn down and torn apart, ready for cleaning. Nothing's been cleaned or done yet other than simply dismantled. This dual set of carbs out of an 81 Yamaha XS400 special. It's nearly a brand new bike. It's got 252 original miles on it. However, fuel was leaking out of the air intake box. It was backing up into the air box, and it was just pissing gas while it was idling and driving. So I got a rebuild kit. However, I have a couple questions here and hoping you can provide a solution. Put a little bit light on here. So one question I have is there's a thread insert here. It's kind of hard to see. There's threads inside of there. And on the other side, you can see down in there, you can see the other end of the brass jet, whatever. One question is this removable?
All right, I'm going to pause right there to answer that question. Oh, you know what's? It's my TV speakers that's emitting sound into this microphone. That's how it's getting the sound.
Hey, it's working.
I'm like, how the hell is this working? I'm like, oh shit. All right. Okay, so to answer his question, that's the emulsion tube.
Yeah.
That he's referring to, and it is removed by tapping it away from the screen. So it's going to go into the throat of the carburetor.
Cool. I've never done it.
On this one?
Never done it on this one.
Okay. So these are BS34 carburetors from Kuni. Yeah. So what you could do is if you put the main jet in there and you back it off a little bit, you could just lightly tap it to get it
just gonna wrap on it. Yeah.
But then if you remove it, you could get like a punch or something and just really light taps. Don't go crazy, and it'll come out. I'm 95% sure it goes that way.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, it's got to go the other way. But
it looked it looked like the part inside the tunnel had like a flanged spot where it wouldn't. So I think what you're saying makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So that's question number one that we answered. All right. Let me play it again.
Is there any way to clean it other than sticking it in the ultrasonic tank as is?
All right. So now he wants to know how to clean it. So yeah, ultrasonic's good, but I noticed he had the quadruple knot steel wool. So Cody, I know
sweet steel wool.
You got that one, man. Let's take it away on that.
Yeah. on usually every emulsion tube, even if I ultrasonic clean it or not, which I show in a lot of the carb videos that I have, you can either do it by hand, grab that. It's a 4/0 steel wool, the little pound sign, 4 zeros. It's like the finest stuff that you can usually buy from Walmart. And take a bundle of it and just start twisting, holding it. You can, sometimes I'll put the one end in a drill, softly bite down on it with the drill and just hold the steel wool and spin it up, and I'll run the outside and it polishes up, like looks brand new. And I'll turn it into a very, very thin bullet type shape, and I'll just shove it into it, almost like you're drilling the emulsion tube onto the steel wool, and just back that a bunch of times, blow it out tediously, because there'll be a lot of like fibers that want to hang around. And I need to try to do this off of your working bench, and do it off to your side and blow it out. You can flush it out with water, blow it out with air if you can, just get all that fiber material out. And I'll even go as far as to use like a monocle. I have like a set of like different magnifying monocles. I can just shove in my eye and I'll look in it with a flashlight, and then you can really see like the inner walls really closely with like a times 10 magnification or something like that. And I'll even do that. And then you can really look for any corrosion, which I think what I'm ultimately going to back this whole question up to is something like this. So let's just keep rolling. But that's usually how I clean them.
Nice. And yeah, I need to get, are those called loops?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I want to get
jeweler's loops.
Yeah. I want to get a loop and one with like a light.
They sell them, dude.
Yeah, I know. They're like $5-10 on Amazon, junk ones, but
worth it, dude.
I've been meaning to get one, but actually I just picked up, I mean, just a cheap magnifying glass, but yeah.
They also sell like really nice, like the desk magnifiers.
Yeah.
I have two of those. I got one for here, one for at work. Really helpful. They're called like Doppel magnifiers or something. I guess like the further away you look from it, the tighter it gets. But those monocles, man, game changers, dude. You can really, really see deterioration, corrosion going on inside of like those emulsion tubes inside of idle jets. Like they're really awesome.
Yeah. Or you could stick in a vapor blaster in like 2 seconds. It'll be
that too.
Yeah, steel will work great.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Let's keep going.
Do I need to pull that out, or is that, for all intents and purposes, not removable?
Yes, remove that. A lot of junk can hide in there and whatnot. I mean, a lot of people do not remove that, and you can either get varnish or these look actually pretty clean, but it could be corrosion or whatever can hide in there. So yes, take that out for sure.
Yeah, you can like reveal, because that emulsion tube is not sitting flush against the tube that it's in. There's some gapping, so that allows for atomization. Atomization was air and fuel mixing, atomizing to a point where it can then be burned. So the emulsion tube is not necessarily flush to the sides of that tunnel, So when you take that out, you could be like, oh, there's a bunch of white, nasty looking corrosion or deterioration going on in the carbs that could be infiltrating some other parts that we might get into.
Yes, absolutely.
Second thing I noticed is I was looking for the emulsifier tube, and I was able to pull this out. Let me.
Okay, I'll pause right there. This part that he's talking about is just the pilot jet.
Okay.
Just for everyone listening.
Do this better here, so my big fat fingers aren't in the way. See if this will focus. There you go. So this emulsifier or jet, whatever you want to call it, I pulled this one out of the left carb. Okay. Just for reference, that came out of the bottom of those 3 holes there. Now, on the right carb, when I pulled the jet out, the same one, there are no holes on this whatsoever. And at first I thought maybe they were just gunked up, maybe the holes were clogged, but there are no holes whatsoever on there. Now, the second part of that question is, this is the rebuild kit that I received. And just for reference, here's the contents of the kit.
Is that a keister set?
Yes.
Classic.
And here's everything that's in it. Everything that I already have taken out. However, if you look at those emulsifier jets replacements, there's 2 of them in here. Neither one of them have any holes in them whatsoever. So my thought is, because I'm not the first one in here, I know that this has been taken apart at least once before. So my thought is, the one without any holes in it on the right carb, is that not the original? Is that an aftermarket one, and which is why there's no holes in it? Or is it supposed to be that way? Now, obviously, the left one has holes. I'm assuming those need to be there because that's part of the emulsifier to mix the air and fuel together. So I'm just not completely sure what's the best path here. I don't know if I should try to find a replacement emulsifier with the holes in it for the right carb and just reuse the original left one. How detrimental would it be if I replaced both of those emulsifier tubes and the new ones don't have any holes at all? Obviously, the right one already is that way. I don't recall which carb was the culprit, which was causing fuel to leak out. I want to say that it was possibly the right side. Actually.
Okay. Have you worked on a lot of these BS 34s?
No, I haven't.
All right. So I did a set. I was working on an XS360. It was a 76, I believe.
What year is this one again?
81.
Okay.
Okay. But the carb style is identical.
I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there are different style pilot jets that look very similar. And then there's holes and no holes. And this has been discussed a lot on the XS forums. It depends. I think it depends on the carb type. But if you look at the stock pilot jet part numbers and just Google an image, it has the holes.
Okay.
Okay. So having said that, I would try to find some with holes in it.
Yeah.
And typically pilot jets do have holes in it, but the ones without holes may work. But I just, at this point, it's not worth risking a $5 pair of jets. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have some links that we can share and pull up after this, but let's just keep going because it's hard to pull all this stuff up.
Yeah.
And then another thing, let me back this. Okay, we're at 5:45. Let me just back this up a little bit. I saw something. Okay, see right here, this guy?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a plug that goes right over the top of the pilot jet.
Okay.
So it's weird. I wish I had a diagram of how this fueling goes through the car body, but I believe somewhere on the internet, and this was 10 years ago when I was working on these carbs.
Yeah.
And I knew it back then, and I obviously forgot. But anyway, I would get the ones with the holes in it. They're $5. It matches the stock ones, but that's not to say that these will work for you. But anyway,
also, what I'm looking at right here, does this utilize brass floats?
Yes.
Okay, good to know. Move on.
Well, let's talk about that really quick.
I was going to wait.
Yeah, I made a note, but let's just talk about it right now then.
Yeah.
So brass floats, you had one that was pissing or overflowing. So Cody, how do you check for that?
You can shake them by your ear. Usually they're still holding on to some fuel. Those things crack all the time.
Yeah.
One bad habit that my boss had to break was on the older bikes. Sometimes you clean the carbs out, it sucks something up, and you can just take your air tool and just blow straight into the fuel hose, into the carbs. Just bam, just hit it with like 100 psi, and that will blow everything out of the jets. But what it also does is it compresses those brass floats and cracks them. Not saying that's the issue, because they can crack in any number of ways, but they'll seep in gas. So you can do it that way. Just shake it by your ear.
Yep.
You might hear some liquid inside of it. If it's dried up, you can just put it in a tank of gas or a little cup of gas or water even, and you might see bubbles pop up.
So what I like to do is dunk it in hot water, because then the air inside the float expands and it wants to blow out. And you will catch the air bubbles, even the littlest ones.
Yeah.
And also, if it has gas in it and you want to get that gas out, because if it's a little hole, you're not going to get that gas out. So what you try to do is point the hole down in the hot water cup, and then that air will force it out. And it'll be dry.
Yeah.
So,
and you can try soldering it if you want.
Yeah, I've had good luck soldering it. It's a pain in the butt, but you can definitely solder it, and don't worry about adding additional weight. It's negligible.
Just set the float. Yeah.
Yeah. And
but
then,
brass floats are very known for collecting unlimited gas, which can jack up everything. Like, this is kind of what he's doing.
Yeah, but look at these guys. They look varnished up, so they're probably sticking as well. So that's probably your issue. But anyway, you have it apart. Dunk these in hot water and see if you get any air bubbles.
For sure. Look for any small cracking, or you can even take the steel wool to those and you can polish them up looking shiny as ever. And then you can really start to see some cracking also.
Yeah. All right. I think we were right here. Let's keep going here.
Yes, it was, because the fuel was coming out of the right air box. So I don't know if it's just a coincidence that the right side emulsifier tube doesn't have any holes in it, or whatnot. I know that I found quite a bit of gunk, if you will, down in that hole there, which is where this came out of. There's a filter on the end of it.
Yeah, so stuff likes to hide in there too.
Big time.
I mean, aside from vapor blasting, so dry soda works great.
Steel wool, man, steel wool that whole son of a gun.
You steel wool that too,
man. I'll pop that little thing off. You want to clean everything out of that, make it look brand new, mirror finish. Steel wool will work wonders. Just takes time. Your fingers might hurt, but get over it and polish it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get that dry soda blaster working, man. You will.
Man, I know.
You won't even.
I want to get a 3D printer.
Yeah, you won't even touch the steel wool, dude. You just like. Psh,
I know.
Shooting everything. All right, let's keep going.
Here it goes. So that's what came. That's the jet that came out of
that. Is your problem, Matt?
What's that?
His floats. His float stuff.
Oh, that Matt.
Yeah. Like, this is Matt Fitz, right? The Fitz.
Yeah, right. I thought you were talking to me.
And you.
Yeah. Another thing, if he's probably not reusing those seats, but what I like to do is snip a Q-tip, chuck it in my drill, and then put like some semi-chrome polish on there and just buzz the inside of that so it's nice and smooth. And man,
works so good.
Yeah.
Polishing compound, turtle wax, any type of like buffing or scratch removal polishing compound on a Q-tip will do amazing. You just gotta get all that junk out of there.
Yeah. Do you do that, or do you use the steel wool on
both,
that?
Man. It all depends. I find that sometimes steel wool is a little bit abrasive, and if it's not too bad, then I'll just run it in the drill or on a Q-tip. It works great. It really depends on like because you know some seats are not removable, like VT1100
Yeah.
stuff, twin carb stuff. They're not really removable. If it's removable, why not? You know.
Sure.
Because if you're not, then you're sending steel wool down a track that you can't trace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. You know, I've been looking for quadruple knot, and they only sell up to 00 at Home
Amazon.
Depot. So they have it on Amazon?
Yep.
All right. Well, I got to get some because I mean, you know, I saw you do that. I'm like, oh, I gotta try that.
It's a jam.
You know, if I don't feel like vapor blasting it, you know.
You have to remove the screen, the metal screen filter, which isn't a big deal. But yeah, that's my question in a nutshell. Is I'm assuming both the emulsifier tubes should have holes in them. Only one side does, and the aftermarket replacement jets in the kit here.
It's very interesting.
I know it's hard to see.
Yeah, you know, it's a weird one. And the fact that this kit has them without holes tells me that it's probably okay, but
right.
I don't have a straight answer for you. And we'll get into a little bit of that later.
Yeah.
But both new ones don't have any holes whatsoever. So not sure what to do, and I'm hoping you can provide some light and guidance on the situation. Otherwise, one last thing. I'm sorry. I know this is really long. You can cut it down, whatever you need to do. But
Not
last
for you,
question
Fitz.
is, obviously the bike's got 252 original miles on it. This rubber's still intact. It's still fine, even though it's old. My question is, what's the best way to clean these? And this plastic ring washer underneath, do I need to pull this apart even further, or do I just clean and wash it as is?
All right. So the bike I was actually working on had torn diaphragms.
Okay.
And someone out there manufactures a replacement. And in order to do that, you have to cut that plastic ring that he's referring to. So you just take dikes and cut it off. And then this new tire just slips on a groove with an interference fit. So that diaphragm is not removable.
Right.
Don't try to remove it. Don't mess with that ring. It's like swaged or pressed on or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
If it's torn, I mean, obviously hold it up to the light, make sure it's good, but don't try to remove it.
Right. And cleaning it's easy. White paper towel. You can, like, I have a slew of chemical sprays that I use, but like you don't even have to use necessarily a cleaner. You can use, like, I have like a cone spray. You can use a rust penetrant and just put it on a rag. There's some type of acetone in that thing, and just wipe it down. Just wipe it down. No need to use harsh chemicals on it. And you can soak it if you want. Sometimes they swell a little bit, but they'll usually return back to normal. But really easy. Dawn dish soap and hot water, and very easy.
Yeah. Do you do anything to polish up the slide so it functions smooth?
It depends. I mean, if it's a plastic slide, I'll just make sure it's like squeaky clean. If it's an aluminum slide, I'll give you one guess. Steel wool.
Oh, steel wool.
I mean, yeah. Okay. Most of the times, I mean, Honda hasn't done the metal style slides. I can't think of a bike that does use the metal slides besides the aluminum ones, the piston style, like where the full piston is metal too. This metal, like this color metal slide, is very Kawasaki Yamaha.
Yeah.
Honda hasn't really done it with those. They usually use like a plastic or like a dense. It may be metal, but it's not that color metal. It's like a different style.
Yeah, I remember these being pretty light, so it wasn't. Yeah. Anyway, do you ever stick these in ultrasonic, the diaphragms?
Not usually. No, I don't.
Okay. I was wondering if it would be too harsh on the diaphragm.
I'm always worried about that.
Yeah.
You
So
know, so that's why I always just hand clean them.
Or if anything, you have the ultrasonic off and you just have hot water going, and I might like dunk it.
Yeah.
And you know,
just rinse it off, wipe it down.
Yeah, exactly. But that's about as far as I go.
Yeah.
All right.
Do I just throw this whole thing in the ultrasonic tank, or is there anything further that I should do to clean this? So those are my questions, concerns. I will provide additional information in my email as well, but I hope that gives you all the information you need. And just in case you wanted to see these carbs, they are Mukinis.
Okay, one more thing I want to mention is on these guys here, they have throttle shaft seals here. They're rubber and they just deteriorate. So there will be vacuum leaks right through here.
Okay.
Now, if you find a vacuum leak and you go through all the trouble of putting in new seals, you'll still have a vacuum leak. So, I mean, if this thing has 200 some miles, those throttle shafts are nice and tight in there.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be okay. But I noticed a vacuum leak, torn seals. I went through the whole damn trouble of replacing it, and then they were still leaky. And you could even put your fingers over or close to that E-clip and you could feel it just sucking air in.
Oh, wow.
You know? So, I mean, it's just the way it is, man.
It's almost like you'd have to replace the plastic slide washer underneath it and the clip just to like maybe make up for any clearance loss.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not worth it.
Yeah. So
and you can adjust around that.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd mention it.
Yeah. Nature of the beast.
Here it is. KOGYO carbs. Mukini KOGYO carbs. So thanks so much. I appreciate it. Absolutely love the Broken Moto show. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. And this is Matt, aka Fitz. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Oh shit!
Awesome, dude. I am so thankful for that video for two reasons. One, we know Fitz now a little bit more personally because we've seen what he's working with. Two, because he's waited so long for this answer.
Yeah. Well,
hey, are probably still apart, man. He's just a soldier, man. I just appreciate him.
All right, let's. He's got a picture too. Let me share that.
I almost need another beer after that.
Yeah. All right, you can see my screen, right?
Oh, look at all those good tools.
Oh, dude, he's got the
vessels.
Oh yeah, no strip screws here, I'm sure.
Yeah, number ones, dude. He has more vessels than I do. I need to step my game up. He has 1, 2s, and 3s.
Oh yeah, dude. You ever use these?
I have the 2. I have the red one. So the red one has like some teeth on it. It's pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah, this one might have.
I like that. Is that a ratcheting one or?
No, it's this one.
Okay.
It's the Jaws grip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has teeth on the things.
So they had red one. I was like, ooh, I'm a sucker for red. But dude, he's got some solid. This is like, honestly, this reminds me of the photos that I take for my carb videos. I'm like, this is what your tool should look like, and he's just nailed it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, and if you guys don't know, these are not Phillips screws in the carburetors. They're Japanese JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard. It doesn't look like there's any damn difference, but there is. Right. And these white Phillips are designed to cam out.
Yeah.
And therefore they strip. JIS do not. And then you need the proper drivers. These make all the difference in the world.
Oh man.
I mean,
I can't tell you, just like that tool alone changed the game out of all the tools I have. And it took me 5-6 years to figure that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll put links in the video description if you guys want to pick some up. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're on Amazon. That's where I got mine. And
yeah, man. And they're not expensive. They're not.
Yeah, they're like 10 or 15 bucks each.
Yeah.
And then these gray ones here, you can whack with a hammer, and they're an impact driver.
Yep.
Now they don't work great for really stubborn ones, but they might do the trick for somewhat stubborn ones. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I very rarely use it as an impact. I tried it and I was like, I just don't like the way it feels because I have my metal one, you know?
Yeah, sure.
But as a screwdriver that I grab out of like 12 that I have in my toolbox, that's the one that gets grabbed every time.
Yeah, I have 2 sets, one in my box, and then 2 feet over there by the workbench. I have a whole nother set, dude.
Perfect.
I love them, man.
Yeah. You are on the road to success, Fitz. Hopefully this email finds you. I mean, this episode finds you with enough time. Oh, is that it? Man, what a beautiful bike.
Yeah, it looks brand freaking new, man.
Wow.
So yeah, I also, my video on fuel screw adjustment is on the XS360.
Cool.
So he should reference that video. And I only do 1 carb in that video because I'm just going, obviously you do it to both of them.
Right.
Okay.
I worked on an XS650 that had, they made that, right? XS650?
Yeah.
And then it was cool. It was a little cafe bike that was done really well, but it had 700. I guess they had an XS700 as well for something. I may be wrong. Or it got bored out, but he had 700 jugs on it, which is a really cool bike. But he had the Mikuni. He upgraded to the Mikuni VM like 32s. So he upgraded them.
All right. We got a few more links to help Fitz out here.
Yeah.
Let me pull all these up real quick. All right. So can you see my screen here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So no hole pilot jet or jet with holes.
So a lot of people are dealing with this.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing. So if you just look at this image here, you got the VM22 or 210 series pilot jet. And then over here, you got the BS30/96. And under here, it says stock 34 or 38 CV carbs. So this is what you have. You have Mikuni BS34s. Okay.
Yeah.
But these do have holes in it. See, they're just trying to say, hey, the bleed holes are different locations. Okay. And then you can see these pilot jets, how here the orifice is closer here.
Yeah.
And then here it's down here.
Ooh.
So
okay, interesting.
Where the atomization or introduction of, you know what I'm saying? How it feeds through this guy is different. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So I would say go with the holes because it just seems more efficient.
Yeah. And then, so if you go here, you got Mike's. If you don't know about this site, this is going to be a great site for your bike. Mike's XS. They got a ton of stuff. Right here, here's the pilot jet, 325. Okay. I think your stock ones are 42.5. I would buy 42.5 and I would buy the 45s as well because in 81, they're lean, you know, it's the way it is. And then over here, BS34 CV carbs. That's what you have.
Bingo.
So, I mean,
that's all he needs, man. I mean,
it doesn't.
Way to answer that. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know the answer to the holes or no holes.
Me neither.
And what, I mean, I could have swore I had that info 10 years ago, but man, it's a rabbit hole on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's
very interesting. I part of me wants to think it's like a deal. It's a company trying to be cheap. Like maybe it costs a little bit more to drill those holes out, but they know they can run fine because, you know, like on the Nighthawks, the Honda CB750 Nighthawks from 90 to 2002 or something, inline 4 carbs, the two outer piston covers that you see are nice shiny chrome. The other two inside, not chromed. You know what I mean? It's just like small little things that they might do. It might not affect the way that it runs too well, and they may think they can compensate with something, but who knows? I'd run them with holes in it.
Yeah, cool. All right. So let's talk about the beer fund.
The beer fund is a great place to be.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, we have a way to donate to the Broken Moto Show. We call it buying us a beer. Some people send us beer, which is awesome. If you want to do that, just shoot us an email. But we take time to make these videos and to answer you guys' questions. So one way to show your appreciation is by liking, sharing the video, telling your mom and dad to watch it too, and then or donating some funds so we can buy some beer. Because we like to drink it while we watch videos or emails.
Yeah, I totally almost had to sneeze, so I was over here trying to make myself sneeze.
So we have some pretty regular donators, and we just want to call you guys out right now. Put you on blast. We got Justo, who's here every week. We got the Fitz, who you guys just met. He's a constant donator, as well as Justo again. So these two guys have just been a huge help to us, and we really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, it means a lot, guys. So thank you.
If you guys want to donate, we have a link in the description you can hit up. Or again, send us an email, question. That keeps the show rolling. We appreciate that as well. All right. So question 2. Brett, 2006 ST as a Honda ST1300 with 45,000 miles. Hey guys, Saturday I rode to my brother's house, left the bike running, but it died. At this time it has a lithium-ion battery. One concern with lithium batteries is that they die suddenly. Unlike lead acid or AGM, that will give you warning signs. I put it on a voltmeter and it read 7.5 volts. I bought a new AGM battery to started for home. Turning the corner, the bike died again. This time the battery read 10 volts. My understanding is that the rectifier and a regulator are inside of the alternator on these bikes. Correct. 3 questions. 1, is there any way to test the individual parts in the alternator without accessing the alternator? Because the alternator is between the 2 cylinders and it's like pulling the motor to get to this stupid thing. It's buried. 2, while replacing the alternator, what other actions or replacements should I be taking? 3, the alternators are just under $800 from Honda. They are. I checked. Have you heard any other options? Thanks, guys. Brett. So to answer his question quickly, he likely has a charging system issue. And if he had a manual, he would have like I looked at it. He would have a step-by-step guide. Literally, it's like put your multimeter here, check here. If this is bad, replace this. Put your multimeter here, do this. If this is bad, replace that. Make sure your battery's at this voltage, check it here. And all of there's a bunch of checks that he can do without necessarily removing the alternator. But to be 100% sure, he will need to remove the alternator because there are checks to do internal of the alternator that he can do with, I mean, literally the book's like test here, put your meter here and here. And if you have anywhere between 0.1 or 0.7, it's bad or it's good or whatever. The manual will set you free, Brett. I know you don't want to spend the money, but there's a chance that your alternator is bad. But there's also a chance that the regulator rectifier is bad inside of the alternator, which can be replaced without replacing the whole alternator, which is a lot cheaper. You're spending more like $400 or $300 instead of $800. So there it is.
All right. So this alternate, it's a legit alternator.
It's a legit alternator.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
As far as the manual, go to tradebit.com. You had another manual source, right? Was it eManual online?
Yep.
So go to either of those 2 resources and pay the $15-$30 and get the manual. It's worth it.
Yeah, man. Because it may save you $800.
Yeah.
With the lithium ion batteries, you also need to be charging those a little bit differently. You need a specific charger for those. We get yelled and screamed at if we don't do that because when Honda started putting out the new CRF 450Rs, they're all coming with lithium batteries now, and they forced a lithium charger on us. And was like, if you charge this without a lithium charger, you will damage the battery forever. So,
gotcha.
But I think he had the charging system problem, and he needs to bite the bullet and start doing some checks.
Yeah.
Again,
absolutely.
Everything I just said. All right. Yeah. Go ahead, man. Question 3.
Yeah. Sorry, we're trying to move quick because it's over an hour already. All right.
This episode is dedicated to the Fitz.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. Question 3, dynamic timing. Hey, gents, I enjoy the channel and advice given by you too. You have answered my question on one of my early episodes, and your advice was spot on. Can you go over how to specifically set timing using dynamic method on vintage Hondas? Do you set it at idle or full advance? Do you advance or retard the ignition compared to factory specs? Any info appreciated. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so dynamic timing is when the engine is running, right?
Which means you need a timing light.
Yeah. So you need a timing light and you need a dial back timing light where you can set the advance on the light.
Okay.
Like let's say your advance, well, am I getting this right? Yeah, my timing light, I can, like if I set it to 36 degrees advance, it backs it up. It dials it back.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying or no?
What's the purpose of doing that?
Okay, so.
And if you don't know, that's fair because I don't know.
No, wait, hold on. I had this. Okay.
Would it be to check to see that it is advancing or?
I haven't checked timing in a while. Hold on. If you.
Yeah.
Shit, I had this. Okay. That's for situations where you don't have timing marks.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let me explain. On vintage Hondas, you will have a T mark for top dead center. You will have an F mark for idle or fire, which is at idle. And then you'll have your other mark. What's the other mark called?
Advance.
What's it labeled? Nothing, right?
It won't be labeled. Yeah.
It's just further out, right?
It's like 2 lines or something like that.
Yeah. So that is your full advance mark. If you didn't have that full advance mark, then you would need a dial back light. That's where I'm going with that. Okay. So forget I said dial back light because he's talking about vintage Honda.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. So how do I do it dynamically? If I was to do it dynamically, and sometimes you have to do this when you swap to a Dyna.
Yeah.
You have to do the full advance timing check, and you usually let the idle fall to whatever.
I think they usually have like a little LED light on there too to kind of.
Yeah, that's for static though, right?
Yeah.
You do that with the test light. Yeah. So anyway, like let's just go through this. If he was doing dynamic and you want to set it at idle, you would point the timing light and you would want the strobe to hit the F mark.
Yeah.
With the notch. And then and then what you can do is you can rev it up to whatever RPM whenever it stops advancing, whatever the mechanical weights are fully out, which is whatever RPM, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you're at that other mark, which is further out. That's not labeled, but the 2 tick marks or whatever you mentioned, that's further out.
Right.
So that's that. Do you advance or retard? I find that factory's fine. I know you mentioned that like you like to advance it a little bit. Sometimes.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can definitely do that and you can see how it performs. I mean, we're talking just a few degrees, right?
Yep. Barely. Yeah. I mean, the timing lights that I use, they're not adjustable. So it's usually, I would consider that like a 0 degree.
Yeah.
So fire the bike up, get it idling. If you got a 2-point system, you're going to use either 1 and 4 or 2 and 3. And set it at idle. Whatever idle. Obviously, the bike has to be running well enough to be able to do this. And you can set it there. Mine has like a little clip on. It clips onto the spark plug wire. It's at 0 degrees. I'm just looking for that fire mark. And like Matt said, I will set a little bit advanced. In my brain, what I'm thinking about is that pistons are going up, and if I can just allow for just a degree or 2 more of compression to be taking place and building up, then when it fires, The piston's a little bit further up. The mix is a little bit more compressed. Might get a little bit more bang for your buck. That's kind of the theory that I was taught from a guy who's been working since '68. It's kind of the method that he taught me off of. And it won't damage the bike. Obviously, you don't want to be over advancing. That will damage the bike, or retarding. That will damage the bike. But yeah, and then rev to the advanced. Then usually the manual is like rev to 34 or 4,000 RPM or whatever, and then so you just rev it. I just rev it and make sure that the advance is advancing. Obviously, if it's not advancing until like 7,000 RPM, there's an issue. The advancers are not doing something right. So the book spec might be useful for that method, but it's very, very basic. And it's the easiest way to time bikes. Check it, turn the bike off, make your adjustment, turn it on, check it, turn the bike off, do all this. Some people will do it while it's running. I just shut it off.
Yeah.
I've been shocked too many times. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, why I went in that whole dial back thing is because my Chevelle had the small block Chevy.
Yeah.
And it has a timing tab that starts at 0. And it has marks up to 12 degrees. That's it.
Right.
Full advance is 36 degrees. They like 36 degrees at 3,000, and full advance is at 3,000 RPM. So what I do on that one is you rev it up to 3,500. So I know I'm in the full advance mode. I set it to 36 degrees. And since I don't have 36 degrees on my tab, I hit my light to 36 degrees. So I dialed it back.
Right.
And I set it to 0.
Yeah.
So that's 36 degrees.
Which is very important to have a light that can do that.
Yeah. And then at idle, it falls at 16 degrees. I let idle be what it is because I'm more concerned about the full advance. Okay.
That throttle, baby.
And then, but dude, when I bought this thing, it was at 0 initial, and it had mid 70s emissions distributor. So the weights did not advance till $5,000. So all I did is put a new spring kit in there, and I gave it 16 degrees more timing, and it came in faster. Dude, it was like 50 horsepower instantly.
Woke it up.
Like it could light up the one tire.
Yeah.
At the
nice,
time.
Man. Very
so,
cool.
Anyway, so that's that.
Cool. So that's it. Wrap us up, man.
All right, guys. Sorry, that was a little long on question 1, but we had to do it.
Yeah.
So that's it for this episode. Listen, guys, our inbox is really low. In fact, it's going to be empty soon. So you got to send us an email to askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. You guys know all the rules. And we just want to have you guys submit the questions so we can run a show again.
Yeah. We appreciate all the people who've been patient. If you did send us a question, we might have had like maybe 2 or 3 for like 2 weeks, So we appreciate the guys who've just been patient. We know that when you ask the question, it will be at least a week or 2 until you hear from us. So we're already thankful for you guys who hang on there, but especially now, if we don't have any questions, you won't hear from us. That's how you know we don't have any questions. I think it's silly to waste people's time. Like, hey guys, there's no show tonight. Bye. Click. You know what I mean? So we need you guys as much as you may feel you need us. So yeah, that's it, man. The email to send us a question to is askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. Again, Cody from TheMotorcycleMD, Matt from The Broken Moto Show, and we'll see you guys next time.
That's right.
Later.
All right. Thank you.